Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Planet X News, September 18th, 2019. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I have an example of the Planet X orbit around our sun. I was actually lucky to find this model. It's actually not a model of Planet X orbiting the sun. It was actually posted on the NASA website, and it had to do with a probe or a satellite that will be orbiting the moon. And whenever I was reading the article on the NASA website, they had an animated version of the orbit of the satellite around the moon. And as I was looking at it, I said to myself, I don't have any type of animation software in any of my computers. So I've always looked for some type of animation that I could use to explain to everyone and show them how this orbit would actually look. So I was able to record this orbit of this satellite that's going to be orbiting the moon, and I was able to angle it just right so I can show all of you what this orbit looks like, this 28-day orbit. There's a lot that's been going on over the past week, and I've been getting a lot of messages, inbox messages and emails. People, I guess they're hearing about this asteroid Apophis. And this asteroid's been around. We've known about it, I believe, since 2004. There was quite a shakeup about this asteroid. And we're going to go over some information on it. And it just so happened that yesterday, a good friend of mine, Andres Moreno, he said to me, "Hey, have you watched or listened to Coast to Coast Radio?" And I said, "No, actually, I haven't had a chance to." And this was yesterday. And he said, "Well, your guy's on there with George Norrie, Major Ed Dames." And I've mentioned Major Ed Dames many, many times. He was a remote viewer for the United States Army for 20 years. After his retirement, he went on to kind of a private practice with remote viewing. And maybe a lot of you are not familiar with remote viewing. It's a very, very interesting technology. So I don't want to get into all of that, but you guys can research Major Ed Dames. He has a DVD set, wrote a book called The Kill Shot. And I've followed Major Ed Dames for many, many, many years. But on Sunday, he was on a live broadcast on Coast to Coast Radio with George Norrie. And I do subscribe, as you have to have a paid subscription to Coast to Coast's website in order to listen to the broadcast. And I did listen to it. And Major Ed Dames mentions this asteroid, Apophis. Now, Apophis is it is a very, very large asteroid, pretty close to 1,100 feet in diameter. So it's very, very large. It's also oblong. It's not a round asteroid. It's kind of oblong. And they've known about it since 2004. There have been some changes that have been made over the years in its trajectory and its close approach to the Earth. But what caught my ear is when Major Ed Dames started to mention Apophis in the broadcast. So I started looking into Apophis again and going by what Major Ed Dames was saying. And once again, it was a little startling. Now, here's the future outlook for this major asteroid. In the year 2029, this asteroid is going to come within 19,000 miles of Earth. Now, you would think to yourself, okay, that's 2029. We're in 2019. Okay, that's some time away, 10 years. But a lot can happen in 10 years. Okay, folks, not trying to be a fear-monger here or freak anybody out. But the fact of the matter is that all too often, these scientists make mistakes. And this could be a very, very costly mistake. One thing that kind of rings a bell with me a little bit is all of these politicians running around and screaming their heads off about climate change, and we only have 10 years left. Well, I don't think climate change is going to wipe out humanity. However, that kind of coincides with their yelling and screaming about 10 years, 10 years, 10 years. Well, in 10 years, that leads us to the year Friday the 13th, and that would be April, Friday the 13th, 2029. This asteroid will come very, very close to intersecting Earth's orbit. Now, I'll be point blank. If there was a collision with the Earth, with an asteroid that large, well, enough said. That would be a game changer for all of humanity on this planet. You wouldn't have to worry about climate change. That's for damn sure. But I've been doing some work back and forth and, checking out all of the information that's available for this asteroid Apophis. And I have to say that, it looks like, it's going to be a pretty close call. 19,000 miles, in space is very, very, very close. Now, dealing with asteroids, these are very, very large bodies, folks. They do have collisions with other bodies out there floating around, whether they could be other meteors, large meteors, small meteors, or another smaller asteroid. Any type of bump, as they call it, could send this asteroid in another direction. It could actually bring it closer to Earth, or it can take it further away from Earth. So that is the big, big question. We do have 10 years before we have to deal with this. But then this asteroid, let's say, for instance, okay, everything's fine. In 2029, the asteroid passes by. We have the close call. Well, guess what? It comes back in the year 2036. And then we have another close call. And that's where the astronomers and the folks at NASA and the ESA, that's where they start to get a little shaky. I believe probably in the year 2036, I'll probably be dead. I'm pretty sure I'll be dead. Maybe of natural causes, who knows. But there's a lot of things that scientists and astronomers and these people at NASA don't really tell you about these near-Earth objects. We have a planetary space force here in the United States government that deals with these near-Earth objects. They try and track all of them. Well, folks, we've seen over the years that a lot of times these objects do make their way through the atmosphere, and they do collide with Earth. And guess what? NASA and the European Space Agency, all of the big space agencies on this planet, China and Russia, the United States, the UK, all of them, they miss these objects. Prime example, back in, I think it was 2013, when the Chelyabinsk meteor exploded over Russia. They missed it. They missed it. They didn't even see it coming. They were actually paying attention to another larger meteor, and they were tracking that meteor when the Chelyabinsk meteor came through, exploded, and did a lot of damage, hurt a lot of people. Luckily, that meteor did not hit the Earth. It exploded above the surface. And we've all seen the videos, and they are quite incredible. Thank God everybody in Russia drives around with a dash cam in their car, because we probably wouldn't have had that much footage of that meteor exploding. So I've been going back and forth and, trying to dig up some information on this. But one thing that, a lot of astronomers, people from NASA, they don't tell you that asteroids can be influenced by light and other influences in space. So telling everybody that, there's nothing to worry about with this massive asteroid coming that close to Earth, 19,000 miles, there's nothing to worry about. All of our calculations are right on the money. Now, look, folks, I can't accept that. I'm sorry, I just cannot accept that with all of the mistakes that have been made over the years with near-Earth objects and meteors breaking through the atmosphere unknown to NASA or the ESA and striking the Earth. So, would they ever give us a warning? I don't know. But getting into some of that predictive programming, hey, we've all seen the movies. We've all seen the Hollywood movies about these asteroids, The Day After Tomorrow, Deep Impact. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. My last live stream, I mentioned that television show 911. Next week, it's going to be coming on. I believe it's the 23rd on the Fox News or the Fox television channel. And this opening episode, it's their third season, they're showing a massive tidal wave hitting, I believe it's Venice Beach or one of the beaches in California close to LA, and a wall of water that looks to be 200 to 300 feet high. Okay, that's going to be their opening for their third season coming up next week. So I decided to go back and start watching some of those episodes, and they had an episode, and this was a year ago, and it showed a magnitude 7.1 earthquake striking the Los Angeles area. Well, what just happened a few months ago in Ridgecrest, California? 7.1 magnitude earthquake. I don't know. That's pretty damn coincidental, if you ask me. More of Hollywood's predictive programming. So, what are we to do? Worry to death? Well, I don't think so. We have bigger fish to fry on this planet right now than to worry about something that is 10 years away. The planetary defense that we have here in the United States government, I've seen many, many videos of how they can influence the orbit of an asteroid. Hypotheses, who knows? Who knows what they have out there? blast the asteroid with a nuclear weapon. I think that would be a bad idea. That could possibly send, thousands of larger fragments striking the Earth all around the planet. So who knows? They have many, many different methods that they've been working on for quite a long time, probably more that we don't even know about. One of them that I did notice that NASA had and they were proposing was the ability to move an asteroid out of its orbit just a little bit using the light and the energy from the sun. But that takes a long time to create that influence. But that told me something. If they are able to use light to move a massive object like this, who's to say that as this asteroid's approach increases month by month and year by year as we get closer to the 2029 intersection, who's to say that over the course of this 10 years, this asteroid's trajectory is influenced by the sun and possibly another stellar object in our solar system, aka our Planet X object, the stellar core object that is orbiting our sun as we speak. So that's another influence that I actually worry about. The more and more that I think about it, the more and more I kind of worry a little bit. I'll show you guys some of the orbital paths that the JPL and the Near Earth Object website has. But what you see on your screen right now, I have actually stopped the orbital diagram here. I actually stopped it 3 months before the actual intersection would occur. And I have the yellow arrow pointed to that intersection point. So the reason why I backed it off 3 months was so you can see the Earth and you could see Apophis. Because once you move the diagram forward 3 months, they're right on top of each other, and you wouldn't be able to read the Earth or Apophis. You wouldn't be able to see their names because they're literally right on top of each other. So I backed it off about 3 months, and it shows you, I'll go ahead and zoom in here real quick. And it shows you right here, here's Earth, and here is Apophis. So in 3 months from that date, bingo, there's your intersection point. And that is, again, I believe, April 13th. It just happens to be on a Friday the 13th, if you're superstitious. But on that day, Friday the 13th, 2029 in April, that intersection point is going to be approximately 19,000 miles from Earth. I also have some video footage that I'm going to show you guys, some more animation, and it is quite worrisome. It's very worrisome because they don't tell you everything. They only give you the points that they want you to really, really hear. So as I was listening to the radio broadcast with George Norrie, Coast to Coast AM, and Major Ed Dames, I was just like, whoa, all of a sudden he's talking about this. I mean, he was very adamant in the interview about bringing up this asteroid. And he mentions that there is going to be a change in this object's orbit. So again, Major Ed Dames is or was a remote viewer for 20 years for the United States Army. And they had a very, very interesting program with these remote viewers for over 20 years. And Major Ed Dames is, he's the most popular and most outspoken and considered to be the best that the military had at that point in time. So he's since retired, and he's gone on, for years in public speaking and training people as remote viewers. He's also worked for a lot of corporations and companies to give them views of the future and views of what their competition is doing. Call it cheating, call it what you want. It is what it is. Do I believe in remote viewing? Absolutely, 100%. It was a little unnerving to listen to Ed speak again. I really haven't heard him out there in seminars and videos and things of that nature for quite some time. So I was glad to, hear this this interview, and I actually downloaded it because you can, if you're a member of Coast to Coast AM, I think it's like $7 a month. You can listen to all of George's interviews. And I don't know, it just triggered something in my mind that, wow, we have so much going on, and now these politicians flapping their gums about, oh, we only have 10 years, 10 years, 10 years, 10 years. Well, this asteroid is 10 years out. So that kind of bothered me, and it's still bothering me. But I had a lot of people asking me questions about it, and asking my opinion on it. So I mean, that's basically it, folks. It's 10 years out, but there are just some things that are just a little too coincidental. Just, I don't know. It smells bad is all I have to say. Hey, let me pull up the live chat here real quick. I almost forgot. Hey, look, we're all going to go sooner or later. You never know. You never know when that's going to be. Hell, I don't know how long I'm going to be left on this earth. Oops. Okay. Sorry about that. But anyways, okay, let's jump out of this. I'll show you the little piece of video that I have. I'm going to go ahead and shrink my head down a little bit here. Before we get into that, I will show you guys the... This is from the JPL. This is the Near Earth Objects website. I've pulled up the information for this Apophis asteroid. And like I said, I have backed it off 3 months so we can actually see. Let me go ahead and we'll just open this all the way up. So you can see down here, you can see the Earth. You can see Apophis right over in the lower left-hand corner. You can see the Earth distance in astronomical units, AU. You could see the sun's astronomical unit distance. You could also see the date. So I've backed this off. I'm sorry, just 1 month. I was saying 3 months. I've backed it off 1 month. So I backed it off to March 13th, 2029. So at that point in time, this would actually be the position of the Earth and that asteroid. Now, I'm going to go ahead and bump this up 1 month. So if you take a look, you can see that now the asteroid name is overlapping the name Earth in this model. So as you twist it, you really can't see much because they're literally, I'll zoom in a little bit, right here. They're literally on top of each other. And again, folks, 19,000 miles in space is like walking out your back door. That's how close it is. Anything can happen at any point in time. This asteroid could have a small bump collision with another object, enough to push it just a little bit. That 19,000 miles can be knocked down to 10,000 miles, 5,000 miles, who knows? Or it can put it on a direct collision course with the Earth. So it's 10 years down the road. I wouldn't lose any sleep over it right now. There are way too many things happening on this planet to worry about. That much is a fact. But you really, if you start moving it around, it kind of gets a little distorted. So I'll give you another little view of it right here. And you can see they're perfectly overlapping. And again, that distance is supposed to be approximately 19,000 miles. And I could back it up 1 month. And you could see that's 1 month back. So that would be March instead of the intersection point of April. It just gives you a little bit of a clearer view because, again, those names get overlapped in the model and you can't tell what it says. So there is Apophis, there is the Earth, and then 1 month later, they have their intersection at approximately 19,000 miles. So we'll see. A decade from now, we'll see what transpires. But again, what Major Ed Dames had to say, it did startle me a little bit. And I've been thinking about it ever since. And it was just kind of coincidental that a few people had asked me about these asteroids and these near-Earth objects. So again, this is 10 years down the road, nothing to worry about right now, but that is something in the very near future. Could the influence of the Planet X stellar core object orbiting the Sun, could it influence this asteroid? Yeah, I would say there's a very, very high possibility of that because you're dealing with very, very strong magnetic fields, one from the Sun and the other from this stellar core object. Something very mysterious related to this Planet X object. Normally, we have a sighting every single month. And ever since I started showing more and more and more of the tools that we use to identify this object on certain days of the month, I've been pretty consistent over the years. Well, we haven't seen anything this month. Not the first part of the month where I get one sighting and then I usually get another sighting towards the very end of the month, about the last 5 days. So, That's got me a little suspicious with the websites that we use. And if you watched my last live stream, I was talking about how we're losing all of these tools that we use. All of these university websites that I use to track things, they're gone. They've disappeared. The SETI website has been down for almost a year. I emailed them. They did email me back. They said that it's going to be a little bit more time. They're working on the interface, the query interface. That's all garbage. Complete garbage. I actually got a few emails from a few people who are actual computer and computer software engineers. They said the same thing I did. There would be no reason to take the website down, offline for people to use. You simply move the website over to a private server. You work on the new website there while leaving the old website up and fully functionable. And to be all honest with all of you, the SETI website before was never anything flamboyant. And after seeing the beginning stages of what they're offering us now with the new interface website, doesn't seem like it's anything too damn fancy. So what's the holdup? What's taking so long? I don't get it. You know, they did the same identical thing to the Soho LASCO website, the coronagraphs that we use, C2, C3, the red and the blue one that you guys see. Well, they took that down January 24th, 2018, I believe it was. And I think it was 9 or 10 months later, maybe even a year later, I forget, that they finally brought the website back and they wiped out all of the good components within that website that we used to use. They got rid of all of that. So they are making things a lot harder to detect this object out there. Nothing I could do about it. Social media is also making things a lot harder to reach all of you. I just had another go around a few days ago with YouTube's team support about, hey, where are all of my subscribers? Where are they? And all of a sudden, you know, I open up my YouTube channel today, and somehow, some way, YouTube or somebody removed or unsubscribed 1,115 subscribers from my YouTube channel. They just disappeared. Just disappeared. That's it. Went and looked in the analytics. They're gone. 1,115 people gone. Psst. Facebook, they do the same thing. They do the same thing. My news and media website and Facebook page, MFA Media Group, we have over 100,000 followers on Facebook for our news and media website. Was looking at the analytics yesterday. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. So we have over 100,000 people that follow the Facebook page for news. And as I post articles from the news website, out of 100,000 people, only 400 people out of 100,000 get to see those articles. That's it. That's it. So I don't know what else to say, folks. That is one of the main reasons why I started that private network. Okay, the link is in the description box. It's $5 a month. That's it. $5 a month, and I don't have to worry about censorship. I don't have to worry about, bowing down to the social media gods. I mean, look at all this stuff coming out now about Google and more coming out about YouTube, and even more coming out about Facebook and how they're influencing everything that you see on your computer screen or your cell phone. I'm sure that a lot of you do understand that, but there are millions of people that really don't. They don't. So that is one of the reasons why I started that private network. Okay, there is a $5 tier and a $10 tier. I made them both identical. So you can join the private membership for $5 a month, and I'm able to share all kinds of things on there, videos, documentaries that I have access to that you guys can't see or find anywhere else. It's all right there on the private network. I share all of my discovery photographs. I share all of them there firsthand. You don't have to worry about Facebook. You don't have to worry about YouTube. You don't have to worry about Twitter. You go straight to that website. That's it. Just the other day, I was given access to a 30-minute documentary that's not out there on YouTube or anywhere else on the internet. And what I've done is I've implemented these videos and these documentaries, and I'm able to upload them to my Google Drive, and I share the link on the private website, and you guys can just simply click on the link just like you're on the boob tube, and you could sit there comfortably, quietly, without being trolled by all of these little freak secret agents that are running around with their disinformation all over social media. And you can watch the material right there on your computer screen or on your cell phone, iPad, whatever, tablet. So the other day, I shared a very interesting 30-minute documentary pertaining to JFK and UFOs. Not just some imaginary story, but true, authentic information. And it was pretty interesting. But if you don't have access and you're not a member, you don't see it. So I mentioned many months ago that I'm going to slowly be moving towards putting my information out on the private network only, because all of the work that I do every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year, I gotta say, folks, it's just kind of going to the wayside. Meaning, I should be reaching hundreds of thousands of people on a daily basis. But I can't. I just can't. They've taken the tools away. They only want you to hear what they want you to hear. They only want you to see what they want you to see. That's it. The $5 a month, hell, it's not that much to ask for. It keeps the company going, and it gives you guys access to all of that information. And I'm going to be doing more and more and more and more on the private network very, very soon. October 1st, look out. So right now, if you joined our private membership, you'll have access to those private videos. I'm going to be recording all of my videos from October 1st. I'm going to be recording those videos, uploading them to my Google Drive, and then sharing that link directly onto the private network. Then you can actually go there and see it. There is also a private messaging section there where you can send me a message. I can go back and forth with you. I like it. I really, really like the way that things are set up. And again, you don't have to worry about being trolled in the comment section under videos on YouTube. You don't have to worry about that nonsense getting trolled on Facebook. It's just absolutely ridiculous. So if you're interested in learning, interested in the information to keep yourself in tune and up to date, the link's in the description box. Boom! Right underneath these videos. And again, I've lowered things and re-coordinated things, so you don't have to pick the $10 option. I'm now including everything in the $5 membership. Everything. So I'm going to have more and more and more of these videos that are not out there for the general public to see anywhere. Anywhere. Not on YouTube, not on Facebook, not on Twitter, not on Reddit, not anywhere. Okay? I'm going to have access to it. I will be uploading those. Maybe these short documentaries on things that are currently happening right now. They're all going to be up to date, and I'm probably going to upload possibly 2 or 3 of them per week, plus the videos that I do for the Planet X investigations and research and everything else happening on this planet. So it's up to you guys. I will stay on YouTube as long as I can, but they are making it harder and harder and harder. And it's not going to get any better anytime soon. It's just going to get worse, and I could already, hear and see the comments. It's a money grab. It's a money grab. There's no goddamn money grab here. I'm so sick and tired of hearing these stupid bullshit comments from these little, they're like little troll agents. And these people are meant to create these comments so you see them. So you see them in the comment section. And then that creates doubt in your mind. And believe me, I don't know any of you people on a personal level. I don't know how strong your mind is. Not insulting you. I'm just saying, because I see it happen every single minute of every single day. I see the influence. And folks, all they're doing is using shitty psychology on you, and sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Yeah. And here's another factor to throw in there while we're on the subject matter. A lot of you follow other YouTube channels. You follow people on Facebook. You don't know who these people are. You do not know who these people really are. They're not your friends. They're definitely not your family members. They're just some person or persons, plural, that are putting information out there on social media, and you don't know if it's true or if it's fake. Because we are in the era of fake news, whether it be in politics or this subject matter. Every single day in our Planet X News group on Facebook, I literally have to correct people about these lens flares and things of that nature, and the 2 sunsets. And because I'm telling people the truth, they get mad at me. That doesn't make any sense. That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. For me to sit here and tell you the truth and you get mad. Well, the only people that get mad are fake people. That's the way I see it, folks. They have to be fake, plain and simple. I had a situation just, this past week with a guy. Just came out of nowhere. He claimed that he had an expensive telescope and he was an astronomer and he was this and he was that. But the guy didn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. But he had a whole bunch of scientific questions that looked like somebody typed them out for him. And then he started mentioning, you can watch the satellites out there in space, stereo A and stereo B. Whoa, wait a minute. If you're such a professional astronomer and you've got all these fancy questions, then you would have known that the stereo B is out of commission as of September 27th, 2014. Fake. Exactly. And all of the questions that he was proposing in his posts in our group was all meant to create this doubt in everybody's mind. So you see where that psychology comes into play. They're using it everywhere on Facebook, everywhere on YouTube. You got all of these people now, showing you all of these things in the sky, claiming it's Nibiru, it's Nemesis, it's Wormwood. But what is it really? It's nothing. Nothing at all. So I think that social media has actually been overloaded with all of these psychological people. They're trying to flood the whole network with a bunch of nonsense. And again, all of the people that you follow on Facebook, all of the people that you think you're friends with, if you didn't go to high school with them and you didn't play in the dirt with them as a child, they ain't your friend. And you don't know who the hell these people are. They may have a common, ordinary looking picture, but you don't know who they are. Period. So you guys keep that in your mind. Please keep that in your mind. Because I have people coming after me on a daily basis. Every tick of that clock, I got somebody coming after me. Period. And all of this stuff that's being shown on social media now, especially Facebook, is it's pretty much all fake. Complete fake. So, what are you all doing? You know? How many times have I expressed over the course of the last couple of years and explained to each and every one of you about how Nibiru is nothing more than a myth? So what am I doing? Are you not hearing me or what? We're not dealing with Nibiru. We're not dealing with Nemesis. We're not dealing with Wormwood. We're not dealing with anything like that. Period. It's all fake. But people continuously, oh, hey, Scott, check this video out. Oh, Nibiru seen in the sky over Tucson, Arizona. Pfft, really? Give me a break. If you guys want the real information, you want the real science behind all of it, you stick around here. Join our private membership. Join that private website. That's all I got to say. For all of you that can do it, do it. Because come October 1st, which is just around the corner, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be going balls to the walls. And I'm going to start releasing a lot of information on that website that I cannot put out there on the boob tube or Facebook. I finally got my Facebook page back after another 30-day suspension. So I'm tired of dealing with it. If you guys don't want to follow the private website and the private network, stick to watching idiots like Steve Olson and the rest of them, because all they're going to do is lead you straight to the slaughterhouse. And you won't know anything. And you definitely won't understand the science behind everything that is happening. So you just keep that in mind. Sorry I have to be so blunt, but that's who I am. I am not some fake YouTube personality. I am who I am. There's a lot of information out there, folks. If you guys want to look into Apophis, you can Google it. Google it. And Google will show you what they want you to see. You might have to dig a little bit deeper somewhere. Let me jump out of here. We'll get rid of that. And I'm going to show you this little video clip that I made of Apophis. Apophis. And this shows you the close approach from one angle. But then there was another diagram like what you're seeing here. And you got to look at it very, very closely. You see, let me stop this real quick. Oh, damn it. Oh, I did it again. Technology. Okay, here we go. You see right here where my cursor is? You see that little red dot and the red line circling around the Earth? Well, that is actually showing you how close 19,000 miles is. It's not very far. Anything can change the trajectory of that object. I'll let this play out for a few times and it will loop through, and you guys pay very close attention to it. There is a distance meter running at the bottom, so you guys can check it out. I'm going to have a sip of my coffee for a second. What am I seeing here? Billy Joe Donnell. Let me read this guy's comment here. No one is asking for sugar coating, but to call others names. Hey, Billy Joe, learn how to speak correctly. I don't agree. Well, check it out. Check it out, Billy Joe Donald. You see your comment right there? If you don't like me and you don't like my YouTube channel and you don't like what I say, hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more. Because I don't need people like you that are little softies, as I call them, little snowflakes. Oh, did your feelings get hurt, baby? Oh, you poor baby. Get the hell out of my YouTube channel. Go over there to Steve Olson or one of these other fakers, scam artists, and let them pump your head full of crap. Go listen to some of that Naughty Beaver stuff and some of his mental illness. Don't hang around my YouTube channel. I don't need people like you around here. But anyways, folks, getting back to this, and as you can see, I'm not in a very, very good mood. But right now, I don't think there's too much to worry about with Apophis. But you can see that damn thing is going to cross directly right across the center part of the United States. But that's not going to be till 2029. Oh, yeah. Okay there, Billy Joe Donald. You see what Billy Joe says? Billy Joe Donald. How many first names do you have? Billy Joe Donald. He says to kiss his ass. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. What was your mother and father thinking whenever they named you with 3 names? Billy Joe Donald. Is your last name Donald? Man, they really messed you up, dude. You just keep running your mouth. I'll leave you right there. I won't even delete your comments, Billy Joe Donald. Anyways, folks, I'm going to go ahead and jump out of here, and I'm going to show you this video real quick that I created for the explanation of the Planet X orbit. It's pretty interesting. Like I said, I was glad I was able to see this on the NASA website. Let me show you what I did real quick. I'll bring up the first video. This was before I changed it. So that is the Capstone satellite, and it's going to be orbiting the moon. And besides getting into what the Capstone satellite, SATCOM as they call it, but that's the orbit. That is the orbit that this satellite's going to be in. And whenever I saw this on the NASA website, I said to myself, wow, that's it right there. That I can convert that into what the actual Planet X orbit looks like, because the Planet X orbit is in a very eccentric and elliptical orbit, but not like what you see here with the Capstone SATCOM. So let's get out of here, and I'll show you how I converted it, and looks even better now. So what I did is I took the NASA video of the Capstone satellite that's going to be orbiting the moon, and I tilted it. And I tilted it just about where I think that this orbit's inclination is, and this eccentric orbit. So that's why we lose sight of this object every single month, because it goes down below the ecliptic. The ecliptic is just your center plane. You can call it the solar system equator, call it whatever you want. But the Earth is kind of on a flat plane going around the sun. Mercury has a very strange orbit. It's on an incline like this, and but this was the closest that I could project to all of you to show you how this object orbits the sun. And this is just about perfect. I'm going to save this. And again, I don't have any type of animating software where I can create something like this. So it was just kind of odd. You know, I was bugging around on the NASA site looking at a few things and reading a few things. And I saw this pop up, and I said to myself, wow, if I could actually tilt that a little bit, I could actually have a little bit of a diagram and an animation of how this stellar core object is now orbiting the sun. So this was pretty cool. I wish I did have animation software. I'm good with a computer, but I don't know anything about animation. But I thought that would give everybody a little bit of an idea and a visual on how this object orbits the sun and why twice a month we're able to capture it on the coronagraphs. But going into this month, this is, what is today, the 19th, the 18th, 19th? We should have had a visual on this a couple of days ago. But, I don't know. They're either cleaning up the data very, 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 very well, because so far I haven't seen it. And we'll have one more opportunity coming up by the end of the month. Anywhere from the 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, somewhere within that 5-day period, we may see a hefty coronal mass ejection. And usually within that coronal mass ejection, we will get a visual on this object. But the fact of the matter is, folks, it's there. It's orbiting our sun in this 28-day orbit. And it's not going anywhere anytime soon. I mean, it may stay there for millions of years. All I know is that it is definitely a huge influence on what is happening here on this planet, especially during this solar minimum that we just now entered just 2 months ago. That solar minimum is a period of 11 years. So we've been getting hit with this climate change. We only have 10 years. Apophis, we only have 10 years. Solar minimum, we only have 10 to 11 years. So something is just real fishy. Something doesn't smell right to me. You know what I'm saying? The things are, I don't know, they're just not jiving. I just haven't put my finger on it yet. Where this is leading me, you know? All I know is the attacks on me and Dr. Albers, they continue. I just had one pretty much nobody. As a matter of fact, I'm going to bring it up while I have a chance. I just had this one nobody person. She's been doing video after video after video using Dr. Albers' content. And just did a video the other day. I had to call this chick out before, and I'm gonna do it again. She calls herself the fifth world, whatever the hell that's supposed to mean. And I guess she acts like she knows it all, and she's this super duper critical thinker, but she consistently uses Dr. Albers' content. Then she tries to say that she agrees with her, disagrees with her, this, that, blah, 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 blah. Well, what really pissed me off is her calling Dr. Albers a Satanist. If any of you know or listen to Dr. Albers is a very, very religious woman. And she reads the Bible every single morning before she even gets out of bed. And her faith she holds very, very close to her heart. So now I have, this idiot once again calling Dr. Albers. She refers to Dr. Albers as the woman on YouTube who says that she's a physicist. Well, look, if you're listening to this little Miss Fifth World, I hope you got my email. And I hope you read it in a video for all of your followers. Don't you ever, ever disrespect Dr. Albers again by challenging her faith and calling her a Satanist. You're just full of yourself. You're teaching. You're not teaching anybody anything. For God's sakes, you can't even use a computer. You have to do your live streams by using a cell phone to show people your laptop that barely works. So this is what we go through on a daily basis, folks, dealing with people like this that go out and attack a woman like Dr. Albers because of her faith, calling her a Satanist. That is ridiculous. So, little Miss Fifth World, you go right ahead and you keep it up. You keep it up. Because you could see the video right here. The real Satanists. If you call me Satan, I'm going to speak the truth, or whatever the hell her video is about. And then she was saying, oh, well, Dr. Albers should be deported. Honey, you look more foreign than Dr. Albers. Maybe you should be deported. But anyways, I just wanted to kick that out there. And look, folks, there's a lot of complete nonsense on YouTube. Just complete nonsense. Here you go, Pastor Paul Begley, more nonsense. All of this crap that you see on YouTube. Oh, this guy right here. Here, let me give you a little taste of this freak. This guy here, the red square, these are like, no names and stuff like that. This guy actually wished death upon Dr. Albers. Well, let me tell you something here, little Mr. Red Square. Why don't you wish death on me? Why don't you come after me? Leave Dr. Albers alone. You come after me. I'll give you a taste of your own medicine like I did before. So, folks, fact of the matter is, there's a lot of disinformation and a lot of garbage on YouTube and Facebook. Speaking of Facebook, I'm going to show you. Now we're over here on the Planet X News Facebook group. Let's go take a look at some of this. And I don't know what the hell this is. Planned Parenthood? I'll have to get rid of that. This guy here, Jason Smith, he asks a legitimate question. He's talking about this sunset right here, which was pretty amazing looking. And, I explained it to him, what it was. But because he was probably watching a lot of things on Facebook that, people just showing these outrageous, colorful sunsets and sunrises and saying it's Nibiru, it's Wormwood, it's this, it's that. People get led astray and they start losing touch with reality. What is real and what is not. And I explained it to him and, I guess he accepted it. Oh, just yesterday, the U.S. Navy finally comes out, wrote an article on the Planet X News website. The U.S. Navy finally comes out, and they have confirmed that those videos that we've all been seeing of the UFOs zipping across the ocean and the U.S. Navy fighter pilots trying to chase them down, they finally confirmed that the videos are real, and they were from the gun turret cameras on those airplanes, those jets. They are real. And they also said that they should have never been released to the public. So a little bit more soft disclosure with the UFO community. But let me get down here. We'll find, we've got some decent people in the Facebook group. There's almost 3,000 people in this group now. We have a lot of people trying to infiltrate the group for the sheer purpose of creating doubt in everybody else's mind. But, folks, the burning sunsets and the burning sunrises that you guys may be privy to see, there's no planets up there in those clouds. This is not the Sam Hoffman color crayon channel, okay? If there was a planet up in the clouds, you would not be listening to me now. We would all be dead. Plain and simple. So let me just keep on strolling through here. This guy, Nibiru Tucson, I've never watched any of his videos, but I'm sure that some of them depict, the burning sunsets and things of that nature. Here is a telltale sign: massive planet passing over the UK and the Queen of England's cousin in one day. I don't know what the hell that means. But I watched a little bit of the video clip, and I can reassure you that there was no planet passing over the UK on the day that this guy took this video. It's just complete nonsense. I mean, it is what it is. But these people continuously put this garbage out there, and there are a lot of people that want to learn, and they want the truth, but they're not getting it because all of this disinformation is all over Facebook, all over YouTube, day after day, and it is what it is. I post scientific information on this group. I thought that I would open up this group and try to help people out. And again, when people are asking me questions and I show them the truth, some of them thank me, some of them mother F me. Doesn't make any sense. This lady right here, she was taking some photographs of the full moon, and she got a ghosted image in her photographs. And, she shows right here, you tell me, question mark, question mark, question mark. And we'll go ahead and look at the photograph. So that's what she was seeing right there. There's your moon, and there is the ghosted image, which is actually, that is an internal reflection within the camera, the digital camera. I explained all this stuff to a lot of you. When you overload those digital cameras, even your cell phone, with direct light like that, you're going to get these ghosted images. And it's not a planet by the moon. It's just not. What I did is down here in the comments section, I showed her, you could see my replies right here. Here's a prime example. I took this photograph myself. You see that photograph? I took that photograph myself with a cell phone. And you know what this is? You know what that is right there? That's that. That's the little reflection of your lens cover over your camera. Can you guys all see that? Doesn't that look identical? Because it is. And I did a little comparison with her picture and my picture, just to show the same. There you go. There's my photograph. There's her photograph. It's almost the same. So you can see where the deception starts. It's nothing more than just, we'll call it an anomaly. Plain and simple. But I haven't even looked at the comments underneath this. There's another prime example right here of a ghosted image. You see? Right there. There's the true color of the moon, or the true color of the overexposed moon. And the anomaly right there, just a ghosted image. Now, you'll have people running all over YouTube and Facebook and claiming that they just photographed the blue Kachina out there near the moon. If you knew anything about the moon, if there was another planetary body pretty close to the size of the moon out there by the moon, we would have tidal waves probably 300 to 500 feet high around different parts of the world. And we would also have massive amounts of water receding and just moving away. So just picture the Gulf of Mexico completely emptied out for an hour or so. And then a 500-foot wall of water rushing back in and flooding 2/3 of the United States. So that's what would actually happen if there was really another large planetary body out there under the moon or by the moon. My God, this just gets worse. I swear to God, man, I swear to God, it over the last 2 years, folks, more and more and more and more garbage is out there on social media for all of you to enjoy when it comes to this subject matter. Here is another prime example, once again, of the garbage that is on the FAA webcams. People are still following some of these people that show you these lens flares and internal moisture within inside of the FAA webcams because they don't know what they're talking about. And they just want to, be recognized for, wow, look at this. If you were able to look up into the sky and you were able to see an object that size right there, you'd be dead. You wouldn't be able to take the photograph. You'd be dead completely. And this came from, oh my dear God, the Zeta Talk followers, Nancy Leader, one of the biggest fakes on the internet, YouTube, fake, total fake, complete. Nibiru monster persona, Alaska, Yukon River Bridge, September 14th, 2019. What's that look like to you guys? Does that look like a planet? It does look mysterious, doesn't it? Yeah. But fortunately for all of us, it's nothing but internal moisture. Internal moisture on that camera's lens inside of a plexiglass housing where these cameras are situated to protect them from the weather. Oh, Lord, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Oh, I made a little video here. I was getting all these reports of the massive flooding in Spain. Oh, my dear God, it lasted forever. These poor folks were just literally crushed with flooding. So we're seeing more and more and more of this so-called climate change. But in all actuality, folks, it's really not that the climate is changing. The conditions that create our climate are being changed, induced by other factors. And I was going to get into all of that. Maybe I'll get into all of that tomorrow. I'll do a live stream and try to explain to you what is happening in our upper atmosphere, what is happening to our planet. The planet is warming. The oceans are warming. There is a reason why this is happening. solar radiation, heating up our atmosphere, our ionosphere. I've gone over this numerous times. All of these things are major, major, major factors. There are many, many more. And it's not going to get any better anytime soon, folks. It's actually going to get much, much, much worse. So whether you like me or hate me, or you don't like the way that I go about things, you have to understand one thing about me. I am no nonsense. And I will not be stopped by other people out there perpetrating lies. My main goal and my main agenda is to make sure each and every one of you understand and you know the truth. Period. Like I've said before, would you rather me sit here and just flat out lie to all of you? Maybe if I lied to all of you, you'd respect me more. Maybe you wouldn't. Because I could show you lens flare pictures, man. I could take wild photographs like that all day long. And I could blow your minds and I could tell you all kinds of garbage. And you guys would believe it. Because the majority of you don't know any better. I've been at this more than 20 years now. 20 years digging into every aspect of the science. That's what I do. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, this was more of the flooding. Ooh, that was a hell of a lightning shot. That's another thing. You know, increased lightning around the world. It's getting worse and worse and worse with these cracks of lightning. Man, they're getting very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. And we're going to see more of it. And as the seasons change in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere, we're going to see some real drastic changes in the northern hemisphere. And for all of our brothers and sisters down there in Australia, remember 2 weeks ago, folks, remember 2 weeks ago, I said that as soon as we start moving into this fall season in the northern hemisphere, they're going to be moving into their spring in the southern hemisphere in Australia. And things are going to change very, very drastically for them like it has over the last 2 years. And they are going to get pounded by massive amounts of rain. But then as summer brews, they're going to get hit with tremendous drought and also massive heat waves. The heat waves over the last 2 years in Australia have been just astronomical. This year coming up, the summer season in Australia is going to be the worst that these folks have seen in their lifetimes. These changes are going to continue. They are going to continue. We are going to see weather patterns that will just literally blow your mind. And they're going to be very, very, very destructive. A lot of these storms may just literally come out of nowhere, and you may not have a lot of time to either evacuate or prepare. That's why keeping yourself prepared and up to date with all of the critical information is very important. Case in point. You see what's happening right here, right off the coast of Texas, right here around the Houston area. Let me show you this. I've been watching this very, very closely over the last couple of days, and I just knew by watching this that it was going to be catastrophic. This almost looked like a hurricane starting to form right out in the Gulf of Mexico, right off of the coast of Houston. And you can see a little bit of convection. You can see a little bit of swirling. But just take a look at that. This is all current right now on the GO-16 satellite. It's not moving anywhere. Repeat almost of Hurricane Harvey. The massive hurricane that moved in to the shore, dumped a boatload of rain, backed off, sucked up some more water, and made another go at the people in Houston to wipe them out. Is it man-made? Can't really say. There's always some possible evidence of that. But this just goes to show you, folks, that these are the kinds of situations right there, right what you're looking at. This is what we're going to be faced with every single day from this point on, going a decade into the future. And you think that a storm like that is bad? Wait till next year. Wait till the year after that. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be something. It's going to be something to watch. We had this close call with this hurricane system. It came right in, almost dumped another boatload of rain and winds on the Bahamas. Poor folks over there in Freeport, Grand Bahama, and Abaco. I mean, my heart goes out to them. There'll probably be tens of thousands of people that are dead and missing. But that storm came in and it just skirted and it got out of the way just in the nick of time. But you could see the flow from the jet stream. The jet stream is now pulling that over, and that may go all the way, that may go over there and impact Ireland or the northern UK. That could maybe make its way all the way up and hit the small island country of Iceland. You never know, but you can see the jet stream patterns, and they have been completely erratic for the last couple of years. This past winter, they were insane. But here's the thing, folks. We're getting into the winter of 2019. It's going to be coming up within the next couple of months. It is going to be like a freight train across the United States and Canada. Mark my words. I've been talking about it and saying it. It's going to happen. It's going to be worse than it was last year. And we're going to see catastrophic storms like you've never seen before. And they're going to come out of nowhere, and we're going to see very, very large amounts of snow, very, very large amounts of ice. You just watch. Something that we've been seeing so often now for the last 2 years are these massive balls of ice. Hailstones. You know, you think of hailstones, oh, maybe they're about that big or, golf ball size. Hell, they're that big. They're huge. Gigantic balls of ice falling everywhere. Filling up city streets around the world to the point where they have to bring in front loaders to scrape up all of the hail and move it out of the way. 6 inches, 7 inches, 8 inches deep. Oh, what the hell happened there? Exactly. There is a system out here that I'm watching very, very carefully. And you can see this system brewing right there. There is a little bit of wind shear. You can see the wind shear right there. But that is... That system is organizing right now. I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on it over the next week, and let's see what happens. That wind shear, I wouldn't pay any attention to it right now. If you look at the core of that storm, it looks very, very strong. And let's see if we can see how the jet stream will handle it. It looks like it's going to stay on a westerly pattern till it starts to approach the Virgin Islands. It may start making a turn upward. There may be a direct impact with Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, and possibly Cuba. It's storms like that are in that lower latitude that are able to make their way. And let me just get the little writing tool out here real quick. It's storms like this that are a little further south per se. And I've been studying hurricanes for a long time. It's hurricanes like that can move right up in here. That could be the projected path of that storm. The waters are very warm, 85, 86, 87 degrees. As it gets closer to Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, those water temperatures, the U.S. Virgin Islands, much warmer, very shallow. That could easily turn into a Category 5 hurricane and slam directly into South Florida. There is also a possibility, depending on the jet stream at a later point in time, that storm could literally make its way straight through here, and it could literally end up in the Gulf of Mexico. It's possible. It's a little too early to say, or it can take another path and get sucked right out this way again. But when you're seeing these patterns in the jet stream, you can see right here that air is pushing downward. There's another air pattern that's pretty far away that's going upwards here. But in general, that storm's making a pathway this way. All of this is very early. All of that will change as the days progress and the jet stream changes. So we will see. There's also, you could see a heavy flow of air, a trough right there. So that would literally be the buffer zone. That would literally stop that hurricane from making a quick turn and going out to sea. That will actually buffer it and push it down, and that would actually give it more of a straight turn. How long that trough stays there, I don't know. We will see. We will see. There's definitely a lot going on, folks. I've also been doing some studies into frequencies, electromagnetic frequencies. I hear a lot of people talk about frequency on, people talking about it on YouTube and Facebook, and I'm going to be quite frank with all of you. I don't really think that the majority of these people really understand what they're talking about or what they're trying to project to their followers. Have you noticed how crazy people are around the world? Have you noticed the mental changes in people? I mean, I see it every single day because my job makes me be on social media and the internet and YouTube. And I see the mental changes in people. And there's got to be a reason for it. I've done some research in the past in electromagnetic frequencies and the human brain. And, there's still some scientific back and forth about the effects on the human body. But one thing is for sure. The effects of the sun and geomagnetic storms definitely plays a role in how we act. No doubt about it. I'll pull up the current version of the SDO. We're constantly, as of the last several years, we're constantly in almost a steady stream of these heavily charged particles spewing from these coronal holes in the sun, impacting the Earth. As the Earth's magnetic field gets weaker and weaker and weaker, we're going to be susceptible to more and more and more interaction with these heavily charged particles. Anything from gamma rays, X-rays, electromagnetic frequency radiation, I mean, you name it. It's all coming out there. Radio frequencies, the more and more they induce this 5G network, that's definitely going to have an effect on people's brains, the way they think. And let's face it, folks, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist here, but I am what I am. A lot of these man-made frequencies can really be utilized to manipulate your thoughts. So I'm sure that all of you follow your 5G people on YouTube and Facebook. You guys listen to what they have to say, because, the majority of people that I've watched their 5G information, they're pretty much spot on. And these people definitely know what they're talking about, the majority of them. But energy coming from the sun, breaking through our magnetic field, breaking through our atmosphere, it definitely affects people in many different ways. Some people are more susceptible to it. Well, let's just use the term weaker. Some of these radiations and these frequencies can actually damage human tissue and human brain tissue. So there is so much to study about this. I've been looking into this for quite a while, over a year. And I would need probably a 3-hour live stream to really go into depth and explain all of this to you. During these geomagnetic storms, I know they affect me. I know they affect me in a weird way. I know when they're here. I know when it's happening, because I just have this feeling about myself. It's just something internal. I guess over the years, I've really got myself in tune with my own brain. And a lot of people say, they have issues a lot lately with their mental stability. And whenever I see these people talking about this on social media, it's always during these geomagnetic storms. Oh, I feel depressed. Oh, my anxiety's through the roof. Oh, I feel listless. I feel drained. I feel this way. I feel that way. The majority of the feelings are pretty much bad. I've seen people talking about the effects the effects on their heart during these geomagnetic storms. So here's the point I'm trying to make, folks. During the time, right now, we're only in the beginning phases of this solar minimum. If we're being influenced this heavily already by the sun's magnetic field and this stellar core object that we call Planet X orbiting the sun, two magnetic fields, electromagnetic frequencies, and again, that is a totally other subject matter, electromagnetic frequencies. It's very difficult to explain. If you want to go and Google it and look up some information, you can. Be careful, because remember, the way that Google works is they're only going to show you what they want to show you. It's not a free search of information anymore. But these electromagnetic frequencies, folks, they're everywhere around us. From your cell phone to your microwave to your television to your computer, they're everywhere around you. But there is also something called an electromagnetic frequency spectrum, and that's something that you have to learn about. And when I listen to a lot of these folks on Facebook, most of the time, talking about, frequencies, 99.9% of the time, if you confront that person that's talking about these frequencies, and you ask them, okay, there, Bob. Yeah, your frequencies. Okay, well, can you tell me what are the different levels and spectrums of electromagnetic frequency that are affecting the human brain and human tissue? What? What'd you say, Scott? Oh, what do you mean? Oh, what do you mean? What do I mean? So, you see, folks, that's my point. You got a lot of people out there that pick a little subject matter, pick a little niche. They use some words and some terminology. They want you to think that they know what they're talking about. And in all actuality, they really don't. The best advice I could give to each and every one of you, you could listen to whoever you want to, but always do your own research and do in-depth research. Just don't look at one website. Just don't look at one picture. Just don't look at one video. Kind of branch yourself out there. Take everything with a grain of salt. And hopefully your frequency rises to a level that allows you to think more clearly. Getting back to what's happening on the sun right now, we've had a tremendous amount of these coronal holes facing the Earth for the last 10 days. Earthquakes across the globe have steadily been increasing. If you guys remember the video that I did going into, I believe it was back in July, and I was comparing some data on earthquakes from 2018, and we had a tremendous amount of magnitude 7 earthquakes in August of 2018. And I did a video talking about, well, you know what? If the data and the stats are right, then we should have a big earthquake month in August. Well, thank God that didn't happen. And I was actually kind of amazed that it didn't under the circumstances where we're at with what's happening to the sun, our magnetic field, and so on and so forth. So that did not occur in August. And so far in September, earthquake activity has been relatively moderate until yesterday. Yeah, so we got another coronal hole that's spinning our way. You could see it right there and right there. You see those two? Those are very, very tight, and they are going to be Earth-facing in less than 12 hours. ETA time to the Earth will be about 3 days. So somewhere 21st, 22nd, 23rd. Yeah. We'll start to see an increase in the solar wind impacts to the Earth. However, because we haven't seen any really big earthquakes through the month of August, that's a little bit of a bad sign. But if we take a look at the current map right now, all of these earthquakes in red, that's within the last hour. They've already removed a bunch of the earthquakes on this map. Let's go over here to the EMSC here. Oh, didn't want to do that. We'll just blow this map up. You see all these in red. That's the last 24 hours. Okay? Everything you see in red. Damn it. That is not what I wanted to do. Let me back out of this for a second. And we'll go back into it again. Oh, I didn't want to mess the whole map up. And I did anyways, damn it. Let's try this one more damn time. Okay, everything you see in red, those earthquakes were within the last 24 hours. Everything you see in orange, within the last 48 hours. Let's try this one more time. Blah, blah, blah. So, as you can see, the whole entire map just pretty much littered with red. The European seismic office, they don't list anything earthquake-wise here in the United States. But you see all along the Mexico coast, leading down into Central America, a little bit of spotty activity on the western coast of South America. But you can see in the Ring of Fire, all through here, a lot of magnitude fives everywhere in Indonesia, the Fiji Islands, Tonga, all the way through there. Down in the Sandwich Islands down here, magnitude 5.4. But these are a lot of magnitude fives. Here's the problem, folks. Whenever we see situations like this, where we see a lull in earthquake activity, no magnitude 6s, no magnitude 7s, just a whole boatload of magnitude 5s. It's been weeks and weeks and weeks now. Everything right now on this planet and out there on that sun is setting up right now for the very high possibility of a magnitude 7 or greater earthquake. Why do I say that? Is because the Earth is not releasing its pressure. The Earth is not releasing that internal seismic pressure in the form of high magnitude 6 or high magnitude 7 earthquakes. So, what can possibly happen during the influx of solar wind? The sun, the earth, and seismic activity, when you put all of that together and the prolonged period of time, the built-up energy, there's a very high possibility that we're going to have a magnitude 7 or greater earthquake very soon. It could happen today, tomorrow, within the next couple of days. I would say the next couple of days we should definitely be on watch for these larger earthquakes to occur. It's been entirely too long and way too many magnitude 5 earthquakes. Now that we have these coronal holes, whether they be small or large, they are earth-facing. They are directly in line with the Earth. That means more of a direct stream, directly headed straight for our magnetic field, the bow shock or the bow shock of our magnetic field, which is now getting weaker and weaker and weaker as we move into the solar minimum. So we'll see. I'm not predicting it, but I'm just letting you know that the setup for larger, higher scale magnitude 6, 7 earthquakes, The catalyst is there. So for all of you that follow earthquakes and watch earthquakes, watch very, very carefully. Here's another thing. You see all of the pressure build up in the South Pacific, Indonesia, all of those areas that are lit up in red right there on your screen. There's a very high possibility that this pressure transfer, my God, I hope not, but it may transfer across the the Pacific. It may impact the Mexico coastline, somewhere within Mexico, Central America, South America, and God forbid, the East Coast, the West Coast of the United States, Southern California. We'll see. Because the pressure is being released in the South Pacific, but it's not being released on the West Coast of the United States. So that may be where that pressure buildup is. We will see. We will see. Hey, listen, folks, once again, I'm going to end this live stream. I hope that you had, some good information come your way. I hope that it helped some of you out. Some people, like the smarty pants that we had in the beginning, doesn't help people like him out. People that got a closed mind. People that are just too damn soft. This is not the YouTube channel for you. If you're a little snowflake, when you listen to me on my YouTube channel, you will get melted. And you will probably get offended. Nothing I could do about it. I'm not here to entertain you. But anyways, keep an eye out for the earthquake watch for, I'd say, at least the next 7 to 10 days. Maybe less than that. We'll see. But like I said, folks, things are coming to a head for information on social media. I would advise each and every one of you, if you can, join the Planet X News private network. It's $5 a month. It ain't going to kill you. But starting on October 1st, I'm going to be releasing more and more documentaries. They'll be anywhere between 30 minutes and 1 hour. You won't be able to see these documentaries anywhere else. You won't be able to see them on YouTube. You won't be able to see them on Twitter or Facebook or the internet. Nowhere. You're only going to be able to see them on the private network. Okay? As I've mentioned, I've expanded the 2 tiers. There's a $5 and a $10 tier. Forget about the $10 tier. I'm going to be removing that. I've included total membership, total access to everything for the $5. That's it. I am sick and tired of being shadow banned and censored and filtered on social media. So it is what it is. And I'm going to be quite frank with you. All of the real hardcore truth channels that you guys may know and love to listen to, sooner than you think, they're all going to be gone. It's just a pattern of what is happening. And when that information source goes bye-bye, you are probably not going to know where to find those people that you watch. I know a lot of different channels and people in general that are in this truth community. I know that they are slowly moving away from this platform and also Facebook. It is what it is. We have big problems with governments and shadow governments and deep state all over the world, not just here in the United States. You see what these idiot politicians do on a daily basis on our local networks here in this country. It's not just happening here. It's happening everywhere. Believe me, it is going to get so much worse. It is going to make your head spin. And for all of you little snowflakes out there that get butthurt over everything, I feel very sorry for you. Because your life as you know it right now isn't going to be worth shit. So you better harden up. You better harden up. And remember my saying, man. Knowledge is power. Right now, the social media giants are taking that power away from you. They're taking that knowledge away from you, little by little. You know it. Some of you may not want to admit it. But you better come to terms with it. Because in the years to come, very, very soon, each and every day, your life is changing and everything around you is changing. You may not know it. You may be walking through life with those blinders on. And before too long, look the hell out. And then what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Who are you going to cry to? Nobody on social media is going to listen to you. Do you think people on Facebook and all those fake Facebook friends that you guys have, do you think they're actually going to care about you? Do you think they're going to help you? Do you think they're going to be there for you in your time of need? It's all an illusion, folks. Be careful what you do. Anyways, I'm out of here. I am going to get my second half of my day started. But I cannot wait to read the comments later on this evening under this live stream. It should be very, very interesting. Hey, folks, if you want, join our private network. If you want, join our Facebook group. Follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Facebook. You can do whatever you want for now. This is Scott from Planet X News. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Be safe out there. Take care, folks.